How does Stairway differ from other concerts?
Stairway is a different kind of concert in that the goal of the concert is to showcase all of the levels, or the stairway, hence the name, from beginners through seniors. So while other concerts sometimes are just focused on one group, elementary, junior high, or high school, this is supposed to show a development
Of all of them?
at once in one evening. Yeah. So an audience can see, here's where they start, here's where they are, here's where they end. So it's kind of a in one event, one evening, the whole
History of them?
history of a student's musical education and experience from beginning to end. 2, 3, 4. The A key on. B flat to A, so don't pick up your first finger.
How is it preparing for Stairway different? Is it tougher or easier?
It is one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to prepare for. This is my 5th year here, so this would have been my 5th attempt at it. But what makes it difficult is the amount of people that you're dealing with. I know this leads into another question, but we have, when we combine, the finale of this concert is always everybody playing together. So while each group will have their own small
Sections.
segment of it, at the end, everybody plays together. So you have beginners that have been playing for 6 months, playing alongside of seniors who have been playing for 7 or 8 years, and trying to find a piece of music and compose and or arrange parts for everyone where everyone's actually playing. It is really a tricky thing to try to accomplish. It's a lot of work to try to find something that everybody can be successful at. Because in the end, the big goal is that everybody participates. Nobody's faking it. Nobody is bored or it's too easy or too hard. That everyone's actually participating in a real way. So that's the tough find, is the piece of music, and then the other difficulty is rehearsal time, because you're working with really 5 or 6 different groups. You have an elementary choir, elementary band, junior high choir, junior high band, senior high choir, senior high. That's 7, right? 7 different groups put together. In the schedule of a school day, all those groups meet at different times. So there is no rehearsal time that everybody's available. So in the end, although we rehearse it in our individual pieces, we only get one period, 40 minutes, the day before the concert to actually rehearse all together. So that is another difficulty, that even though you're doing the work outside of it, once you put that all together, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, knowing from my experience, I know how tough that can be with trying
It's
to figure-
fun.
It's fun,
but
but
it's
it's
also-
difficult trying to find times to help rehearse and everything.
Yeah, and it's also very last minute. We rehearse the day before. The concert is the next night. So there's not a lot of time to, all right, next time we'll try to fix what happened
Yeah.
today. It's kind of like we got to get it all done and all problems solved and all things.
It's kind of like with marching band with last year when I was in band, because we had to figure out how to get some older kids in with ours.
Yep.
To help
Yep. When you don't have everybody together, that makes life difficult,
Yeah.
always. But
How do older and younger musicians play effectively together?
that's all part of that, trying to find a good piece of music. I love it when, in any aspect, we can get older kids and younger students together. I think it's great for both. Obviously, the younger kids learn a lot by sitting next to someone who's better than them and more experienced. Just like with athletics or with anything, the younger students look up to you guys that are older. So when you're doing something, it validates what they're doing. Like, hey, they play the clarinet too, and that's really valuable. Obviously, we hope that there's a difference in ability there, which is also a good thing, that they get to watch or sit next to in real time, not watching a YouTube video or hearing their teacher do it, but hearing another student play their instrument and doing it well. And I think it's great for older students as well to kind of it humbles you a little bit to bring you back to remember when you were first learning how to do that, and you see that younger student struggle with that same fingering or that same, production of note or that same rhythm that you did, and you can help them. And I think that it's always valuable. Obviously in music, but in everything, like a little bit of tutoring and peer tutoring goes a long way. I think so. So that is, I enjoy trying to put that together, and I think it's valuable for everybody. So it happens. And again, if we had more time, I think that we'd benefit more from that, right? If they had more time, more than just that 40 minutes to meet with each other, because some of them obviously don't even know each other. So, that gets, it kind of puts a rush on that tutoring mentality or that idea. But it's fun, and they do well with it. So.
Challenges with no public, is it easier or tougher?
You'd think it'd be easier, right? Like I went into this year, and Mrs. Chatterton as well, went into this year going, all right, we can't have an audience. We can't perform live. What are we going to do? And we prepared concerts, and we've recorded 2 concerts now. Our holiday concert and our Pops concert have all been recorded. They're online, and they're good. Like we're proud of what our students were able to accomplish from the performance aspect. But I did not anticipate the difference in the give back of that for a performer. Like performers want to perform for people. And you think about all the performers on Broadway and right now, and even movies and other like actors and like that whole theatrical aspect. Like the reason we do what we do is to do it in front of people, to get a reaction when you tell a joke on stage, or to hear that applause at the end of something. And yeah, it's nerve-wracking. There's an adrenaline rush. It's nervous. So you think like, oh, it'll be easier because there's no crowd there. I'm not nervous. But there's also no payoff. There's not that applause at the end. There's not that feeling when you walk off the stage and go, yeah, we just sounded good. So I underestimated that. And it has definitely affected both my ensembles this year, that I've had to work really hard trying to motivate without that motivation of concert excitement. So we miss it. I think it's harder. One, I guess, just that's the biggest ticket, is that there's no immediate feedback for your performance. But 2, it's like, oh yeah, when you're recording something, it's not a one-shot deal. Like if you don't get it, maybe you can get it the next day, right? Or you have another chance. So there's not that pressure, which I guess some people look at as a negative, but I think it's a positive pressure. I mean, like when we know the concert is tonight and we walk on stage, we've worked for 3 months on this piece of music, and you get one shot.
That's kind of what helped me do better with concerts, was like with the pressure and everything.
It makes you focus, because you don't get another chance. You're not going to go, oh wait, sorry, let's try that again. So I underestimated that difficulty. I thought that maybe not having that pressure would be a good thing, but as it turns out, I think I'll take that pressure any day. My students thrived on it. I always watched concert night, no matter how much I pushed beforehand for that level. On concert night, they rose the bar on their own. And with that not being there, with that pressure not there of that event,
they kind of
it's hard. It's harder to motivate yourself. It's the same thing with anything else, right? If you go to practice, but you never have a game, how seriously are you going to take that practice? I mean, you may enjoy that sport, but when there's no pressure of, hey, we got a game tomorrow, or it's the same kind of concept. So I think that pressure that we're missing, it was a bad thing. We can't wait to get back to it. We hope that, maybe this spring, our last concert this year, might be able to be an in-person event somehow. So we're looking forward to trying to get back to that.